Uncensored show. We in it to win it though. About to start the podcast. Yeah, you better watch that. SportLife Uncensored show. We in it to win it though. About to start the podcast. Yeah, you better watch that. Yeah, don't miss it. Cause when we shoot a shot, we swish it. Like Curry, you know we ain't never miss it. Sports info, yeah, that's the mission. Compared to other people, we different. Knocking out the other competition. Put them all into a submission. We don't tap out, we keep on hitting. 3 different fans, 3 different teams. Best sports podcast you ever seen. Noah, David, and Tyler supplying the finest opinions that's only real. They be providing excitement like when it was Tyson up in it, well, Holyfield. Just like Barry Bonds in his prime. They knock it out the park every time. Yeah, it's the SportLife Uncensored show. We in it to win it though. About to start the podcast. Yeah, you better watch that. SportLife Uncensored show. We in it to win it though. About to start the podcast. Yeah, you better watch that. Yeah, don't miss it. Cause when we shoot a shot, we swish it. Like Curry, you know we ain't never miss it. Sports info, yeah, that's the mission. Compared to other people, we different. Knocking out the other competition. Put them all into submission. We don't tap out, we keep on hitting. 3 different fans, 3 different teams. Best sports podcast you ever seen. Noah, David, and Tyler supplying the finest opinions that's only real. They be providing excitement like when it was Tyson up in it, well, Holyfield. Just like Barry Bonds in his prime. They knock it out the park every time.
Welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, your go-to sports podcast featuring great content, conversation, and your occasional disagreement. Stick around to interact and ask questions. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports, located on the White Horse Pike in Hamilton, New Jersey. Showcase Sports for the elite player. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back once again with another episode of the SportLife Uncensored show here on the Sports Box Network. Took last week off because last Thursday was Halloween, but we're back this week to talk some NFL and a little bit of college as well. As always, I'm your host, Noah Dog Dive. We're joined by my buddies and co-host David Dunphy and, of course, Tyler Rowe. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good other than these technical difficulties I'm dealing with. So y'all just bear with me tonight and give me some heads up on those topics. We'll get it going then.
Awesome. I'm doing great myself. You know, Saints and LSU aren't playing tonight, so I'm in a great mood. So
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Dennis Allen's gone, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. That'll get you a little fired up at least.
Yes, sir.
But, man, we got a lot to talk about. So, you know, Tyler, you had the first segment. We're just going to get right into it with our Week 9 recap in this one. Thursday Night Football last week.
All right.
Jets.
We had the Jets and the Texans. Go ahead and kick us off, Noah. What'd you think about this game?
You know, sloppy game for sure. I got to say, and, I got to get the Aaron Rodgers hate agenda going out really early. Statistically, had a pretty good game, had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, completing around 67% of his passes. But, man, I got to say, Garrett Wilson had two of the most ridiculous touchdown catches I've ever seen in this game, both one-handed. The first one, guy's basically all over him. Rodgers throws it, high and away from the defender, and he snags and is able to run in the end zone. And then, obviously, the second one, leaping catch, gets, I think, his shin down, and they count it as catch and his touchdown. He had an amazing game in this one. Defensive slugfest as well. We know that Jets defense has always been good, but, they've been hit or miss this year. C.J. Stroud 11 for 30 in this game. Stroud is a guy I definitely think is, in that 6 to 10 range, really good quarterback, but, one of the worst games I've ever seen from him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The offense was basically just Joe Mixon and Tank Dell,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Mixon had a good game, but he kind of got it. Most of his good running, I'd say, was in the first half, and in the second half, I think they kind of, adjusted their game plan and they shut him down a little bit more. And then the Texas offense, 6 points in the second half, outscored 21-6. Good game for Breece Hall. The Jets averaged 4.8 yards per carry. Devontae Adams, I think his first good game as a Jet as well, 91 yards and a touchdown. But I think the main story was Garrett Wilson. He was absolutely nuts. And the Jets defense, looks like they're finally getting going a bit.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, man. The Texans wide receiver room is just banged up, man. Luckily, I think Collins is soon to be coming back off the IR, but Diggs is gone for the year. Tank Dell, though, man, he stepped up pretty good. He had 6 catches for $126. Didn't get into the end zone, but he held his own. He looked pretty good. And I'm pretty sure, Noah, you have him in fantasy, don't you?
I do, yeah. I'm finally getting it going for me, man.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, bottom line, man, Stroud just needs help. Dale was able to contribute, for a good decent amount, but he needs more help. He can't do it by himself. Collins will help out a lot coming back. Like you said, Mixon had a pretty good game as well. But it kind of, I think they had to kind of go away from the run in the second half just because I think Rodgers and them really started turning it on. Man, it took them a little bit, but that 1-2 punch between Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson is looking really nice with the Rodgers right now. Adams looked really good. He had 7 catches for 91 yards, didn't make it into the end zone, but he didn't have to because Garrett Wilson, he 9 for 90, pair of one-handed Randy Moss catch touchdowns. He looked freakish in that game and kind of bailed out Rodgers. They weren't great placement, but he was able to make his body adjustment and just really able to bring it in and whenever it mattered. So, the Jets are looking like, what a lot of people were kind of thinking they were going to be there. I don't know if it's too late for them to be turning it on, but, they look good right now. Texans just got to get healthy. But, yeah, Jets look pretty good.
Before I get into this, do either of y'all know when the Texans are getting back, Nico?
I feel like I heard it was next week. I think he's coming off now, but I'm not sure. Or the window will be opening next week.
I don't know exactly when, but I know it's going to be pretty soon, like next game or two for sure.
Okay, yeah, they're going to need him back pretty quickly because there's just not enough skill over there. I guess. They've got big names everywhere, but couldn't seem to get it done against the Jets team that I don't think is as good as they played.
Mm-hmm.
They played a lot better since they got Devontae Adams. They got a lot of big names over there as well. If they could get Breece Hall involved a little bit more, along with the 1-2 punch, they could be a scary team. But like David said, is it too late? I don't know. They could turn it on and make a late run. As far as the Texans go, with the injuries to their wide receiver core, the Texans are one of the teams I had in my top 4 teams to make the championship games. But with the way they've gotten banged up lately, I don't know. They don't look as good. 2 of the last 3 games Stroud has played, he has just been completely shut down. And, this is his sophomore campaign, and the sophomore campaign does always tell more than the rookie campaign. But I think he's better than he's playing, and he just needs some help. O-line's blocking decently well. It's just, I guess, the injuries to the wide receivers and not having the chemistry as well as or as much chemistry with the backups. So I'm interested to see them get their receivers back, well, one of them at least, and see where they go. But in this game, the Jets just took it to them. Their defense looked great, and that's ultimately what won the game.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys reminded me because I forgot to mention they really need Collins back because now that Diggs has the ACL injury, I mean, passing game is pretty much just Tank Dell and then a bunch of I don't even know who their number 2 receiver is right now. So like, yeah. But moving on to the next.
Just touch on that real quick. I pulled up this tweet from yesterday. It says Texans wide receiver 1 Nico Collins has passed all tests for hamstring, no setbacks per league sources, retains speed, mobility, ready to go. Matter of when, not if, he'll be designated to return. Team still determining if activating him for Lions game.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, they're going to need him back pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, especially for the Lions game. That's good. We're gonna get that one later. That's gonna be an interesting game. But speaking of an interesting game involving a feline related team, David, man, Panthers 23, Saints 22. Now I know the Saints have sucked this year, but this, especially considering how they played the Panthers in Week 1, this was not a game I was expecting them to lose. Losing it right at the end as well, pretty much 23-22. Give us your thoughts on this game and obviously a bit on the Dennis Allen firing too.
Yeah, so I said before the game that if we lose this game, that's it for Dennis Allen. There's no and or buts. I felt like that was the line drawn in the sand. And to be completely honest with you, looking back, do you remember? Well, I'm sure you do. The game where they gave Jamal Williams the touchdown at the last game against y'all last year.
Yeah,
he lost the team then. They did exactly what he said not to do, and they did it anyways. He should have been fired then. If you lose your team like that, the GM should have done his job. But on this game here, man, the defense just looked bad. Chris Olave, man, had that awful concussion. He can't catch a break, man. He almost had one last week. He had one the game before that, and this one was bad. He was out for a minute, guys, and I hate to say it because he's so talented. He's such a young, up and comer, but he's going to be like Tua before too long if he doesn't start taking care of himself and watch how he lands and, things like that. Obviously that was a dirty hit. But you can't really help that, but some of them, are a little more avoidable. But man, it's just bad coaching. And honestly, the players just, they've looked like they just didn't want to play for him, in my opinion. There's like a sense of urgency that's not there. So yeah, man, they got, they gave up way too many big plays defensively, and they couldn't get it done offensively to outscore them. It just looked rough. Like you said, Dennis Allen got fired. The thing about that, though, from rumors that I'm hearing, Mickey Loomis didn't even want to fire him. I heard that Miss Benson met with the team captains last week, and win or lose this game, he was going to be getting fired. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool to me that she's actually stepping in. She sees her team in disarray, and she's making moves. I like the fact that they also traded Marshawn Lattimore and got pretty good return for this time of year for him. So yeah, I'm kind of embracing the start over. It's the rebuild has been needing to be done since Breeze left, and they've just been kicking the can down the road, as they say, and it's time to just kind of start over. So yeah, ugly game. They brought up Darren Rizzi, the special teams coordinator. He is like a leader among men. He's loud. He's he'll cuss your ass out if you don't if you fuck up. So I'm kind of excited about it because Dennis Allen had no emotion on the sideline. No emotion at the podium when talking about his sixth damn game lost in a row. So, I'm excited. I think he's a great defensive mind, but he's not a leader among men, and it's time for a change. So,
in this game, I'm going to talk more about the off-field stuff because the on-field shit kind of sucked both ways. Did y'all read any of the tweets after this game? Or some of them were during the game, actually.
Talking about Mike Thomas?
I'm talking about multiple different Saints. One of them called this game the Cottonelle Doo-Doo Bowl.
Yeah.
I was like,
yes.
And that came on. That tweet came in like in the fourth quarter.
That was Colin Saunders. That's our defensive tackle. So
yeah, Dennis Allen lost his team last year, like you said. They even when y'all were blowing teams out, let's be real, you played the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. The only game that would be worse to watch right now than the Panthers and Saints is the Cowboys and Saints, which is crazy to say after watching y'all put up 40-something on us in week 2. To come back around and let the circle fully meet to the team y'all blew out in week 1 and to get beat by them, yeah, it was time for him to go. It was time for him to go regardless, like you said. But I'm excited to see the Saints being led again because, like you said, that dude had no emotion. He just kind of hung out and did a whole lot of nothing. But
not to interrupt you, but the vibes that he gave me is like a substitute teacher. You know what I mean? We had Sean Payton there. He was like the real teacher, and then it was like he was gone, so it's like the sub is there. Like you're gonna do enough to what they say, but you're still gonna not do the things that you need to be getting done. That's the kind of vibes that I got from him. So.
And I mean, I've always gotten. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know who y'all's head coach was for half of last year. That's how unimportant he just was. He reminds me a lot of like Jason Garrett's era in Dallas, just real quiet, no emotion, just kind of there. Yep. Y'all need a change, and maybe this great leader you're talking about will be the change. I don't think this year's the year, but
no. If this is going to be a multi-year rebuild, especially with a cap, I'm looking at about a 3-year rebuild in all reality.
Because it looks like the Falcons pretty much got y'all's division hemmed in. So, but
you can't count out the Bucks. So
anyway, you can have this one. I don't even have anything else to say about this game other than I guess good job squeaking out the win by the Panthers. And I do want to mention one more tweet because it was a great tweet. Somebody tweeted from the Saints saying, I can't believe we just lost to the fucking Panthers. And the defensive back from the Panthers tweeted back, bro, don't we have the same record? Like
they do. It's just crazy to say.
We do
like,
now.
Oh, wait, we do. Shit. Maybe
isn't this Bryce Young's first win as a starting quarterback?
It might have been.
I believe it is.
I know it is this year. I don't know
if
he
this
won
year for
last
sure.
year.
Yeah. So it's rough stuff, guys. Rough stuff. All right, guys. Moving on to the next game here.
Hey, you didn't give me my chance.
I apologize. Noah, you go right ahead, Noah.
Noah, the only guy that has like actual excitement about the football season.
Of course, well,
he gets no say anymore.
I'm sure he's excited for talking about this game too. So go ahead, buddy.
Well, look, David. You know, in all seriousness, for years you've known I've never liked Dennis Allen at all. I know the whole thing was, the Raiders are a terrible organization, which they are. But I mean, his record there was horrible. Worse than what Hugh Jackson did, a few years before. He went 8-8 with that team. And I think the thing with him was he had a couple of years there where the NFC South was really bad and he could beat up against teams like the Panthers and Falcons that weren't very good. And I think it made people think, well, they went 7-10. If we could just, get a few more pieces in, get some, a good OC in, we could, maybe make a run at the wild card for something. And this year, it's just like the bottom has just fallen out of the boat. They've had a lot of injuries, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's still embarrassing how they've just completely collapsed. In fact, they started 2-0 with the way they did. It feels like it was 5 years ago at this point with how they played lately. Missing Shaheed. Speaking of Olave, I don't know if you guys saw it, but speaking of tweets, I saw one from his brother that was like, it's not worth playing for this in NOLA pretty much, which is not a good look to see. But I mean, I'm looking over the stats. 5 of 15 on third down. They had a failed fourth down conversion, 10 penalties for over 100 yards. I mean, they had 427 yards. They outgained the Panthers easily, but they made mistakes, and the Panthers, to their credit, took advantage of the opportunities they had. Derek Carr, average game, I think. I mean, their leading receiver, not counting running backs and tight ends, just at the wide receiver position, is Cedric Wilson, who is 29 years old, was like a 6th-round pick in 2018, and he only had, I think, 34 yards or something like that. Offense just looks anemic. Clint Kubiak, I don't know how much of it is the play calling or whatnot, but they've gone from looking like they had a genius the first 2 weeks to just looks like a total mess. I mean, I don't know what's happened there. But, I mean, I guess good one for the Panthers. And, by the way, have you guys seen there's like an 8-way tie for the worst record in the NFL right now? Like, all the teams are 2-7. So, that race for the number 1 pick, I think, is going to be interesting. David, you know me. My thing is always, if you're this bad, you might as well just try and lose the rest of the games. Just get number 1 pick. Like, this, there's nothing to be good. This season's over. you have a rivalry game this week. Maybe they'll show up for it, maybe not. I mean, we'll see. You got to throw records out the window for that. But past that, man, just horrible.
Yeah, so Dennis Allen statistically is the worst coach in NFL history. He has the worst winning percentage of all coaches.
Worse than Hugh Jackson?
I believe so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I was looking for this. I don't remember the exact stat, but so teams that have outrushed teams by 150 yards –
We're 275-0.
Yes, and now it's 275-1. So it's like outrush for 150 yards, won the turnover battle on something else, and so pretty awful stuff there. So all right, guys, on to the next segment here: Cowboys versus Falcons. Cowboys 21.
Go ahead.
Falcons 27.
I don't even want the mic. Y'all can just have this one. It was just,
all right. Sounds good. Tyler, go ahead and start us off here.
I figured that was coming. In a game where I thought it couldn't get any worse, the scoreline is deceiving as all get out. That game was never close. Dak is now gone as well, on top of the other injuries we have, which, I mean, I don't even know if that's a bad thing at this point. The way he's playing, let's just go ahead and save up that $60 million body of his, since it's going to be needed at some point, I guess. The game was just terrible. I don't really have anything good to say from it, other than we get to watch another quarterback now. Great job by Atlanta capitalizing on what we gave y'all. And I mean, y'all are clearly just the better team. Not much to say there other than I'm right there with let's lose out and go get Ashton Genty. He's a Frisco kid. Let's go help our running back. You want to pay a man $60 million? Let's go get him some help and maybe run the ball a little bit, not try to throw the ball 60 times a game like we're a college football team. But go ahead. No, I'm pretty upset and I'm just done with the year, honestly. Go for it.
One side note there for you, Tyler. Isn't Cooper Rush? Isn't he like 6-1 as a starter?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, I don't really see that this year, but yeah,
was he the one that played that game that the Cowboys beat the Eagles like 40-37 like 2 years ago or whenever?
Yeah,
it was?
I think so.
Yeah, that year he split with them. The first game they came in and beat the dogs not out of us. His first game,
and that was his only loss.
And then he went and beat them.
Well, man, I gotta be honest. I don't know what game you were watching because I loved every second of this game. I thought it was
you did. Yeah,
I thought it was a very entertaining watch. I thought it was. I mean, against a team that's not very good, obviously, but I thought the Falcons looked impressive. I thought, they did what they had to do. Kirk Cousins, another good game. Only 5 incompletions the whole game, 3 touchdowns. Bijan had a solid game. Algier, only 3 yards per carry, but he did score a touchdown. Spreading the ball around. Mooney had another. By the way, I got to give a shout to Darnell Mooney, man. I mean, this is a guy that's never gotten a lot of attention throughout his career. I think mainly because of the teams he's played on. He's been amazing this year. That 1-2 with him in London, and he's been balling. But I have him on both my fantasy teams. Just chose him late because I gotta I don't know who I want to pick. I'll just pick the Falcon because I know he's going to be our number 2 this year. He's been really good. The past 5 weeks, Kyle Pitts didn't do anything in this game, but the 4 weeks before that, he's been really good as well. So I'm really impressed with what the offense has done. My favorite part of this game, though, was when it panned to Dak on the sideline mouth, and we fucking suck. I thought that was
he's not. I tried to forget this game, but I do remember that.
But dude, I just think that good win for us. We have another hopefully winnable game this week. Granted, it is a rivalry game, but 6-3. They're in control of the division. They're 4-0 in the division. The Panthers and Saints aren't even close. The only competition is the Bucks, and we already swept the Bucks. So we have all types of tiebreaker advantages there. I think the first half of our schedule as well was way harder than the second half. But yeah, man, it's not good for the Cowboys, and I think it's first of all they should have fired their coach last year. I don't know why they didn't. They're definitely going to do it this year, but it's already too late. Another season's gone. You already paid Dak, so you can't get out of that. But I think the perfect summary of the Cowboys this season is I saw Vic Fangio say this week, Eagles DC, he was asked the question, how does it change your game plan now that you have to game plan for Cooper Rush instead of Dak Prescott? And he's like, it doesn't change our game plan at all. I'm like,
It doesn't. I mean,
like,
we still don't have a running back. We still have one receiver. If you can cover him, y'all got the game. I mean, go for it. And we still have no defense. So, yeah. Great vibes over here from the Cowboys. Hey, let me get one of those brown bags, David. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and join the squad.
I got you, bro. I got an extra one over here. All right, so yeah, Dak said it best. We fucking suck, like you said, Noah. That was probably the funniest lip reading that I've seen there. That was pretty hilarious. No run game per usual. They're banged up to hell and back, man. We are too. So I mean, I know how that feels, but they're just they're banged up. They're not looking good. What was up with your running back being suspended for disciplinary action? Old Zeke.
How are you that old getting disciplinary actions? How are you this far into your careers? I don't know. I still don't know what they never said. Or at least I didn't see what they said.
Maybe they just suspended him for being a bum. Who knows? But
I said they might have suspended him for eating too much. Like, who knows?
There's no telling. But yeah, man, they look lost too. They just don't look good. I felt like they came into the season and they weren't prepared. Falcons, man, they're real contenders, and I hate that. London and Pitts were actually just limited to 3 catches, which was kind of crazy. But Cousins was able to spread the ball around, like you said, man. Darnell Mooney is a fucking hell of a receiver too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I mean, he's quick. He's that field stretcher. And he's got pretty solid hands too, from what I can tell. Just a good solid number 2. And just the Falcons just keep on rolling, man. I hate to see it, but they're definitely the front runners of the division here. And really, I mean, I don't know. The Bucs might be able to make it in as a wild card, but there's no way they're going to be able to take over the division. So, go ahead.
I don't see the Bucs winning a wild card. I just think the NFC is too competitive for them to be able to compete that way. I just don't see them ending the season as well as I think the Falcons will end up really strong. And before we move on from Darnell Mooney, it's really funny to me how Chicago did all these moves to get better receivers and then just gave their best receiver of what they got to Atlanta. So
no, absolutely. And to be fair too, I mean, he was their number 1 in Chicago. I think he makes a better number 2.
For sure.
And I also think he complements his number 1 here a lot, being able to stretch that field, using his speed, and London can use his size, the third down, catches, things like that in the red zone. But Mooney can just kind of stretch that field. So, yeah, man, Falcons just keep rolling. I hate to see it, but it's undeniable for sure. So they're looking good. Tyler, if you want to go ahead and lead us into this next game, Rams and Seahawks.
All right, we have the Rams 26, Seahawks 20. Go ahead, David. Lead us off into this one.
Man, the Rams look back with Kupp and Puka, don't they? I mean, they look like a completely different team with healthy receivers. I wouldn't know what that's like, but I mean, it must be a pretty good feeling. And actually, didn't Puka get thrown out of this game by throwing a punch?
Yeah,
I thought so. Pretty early. I think he only had 1 catch there in the game, but Kupp, he looks like he hasn't missed a step. There was a lot of talks going around with trade rumors with him, but that's just bullshit rumors. That happens every year with all the elite players, or a lot of them anyways. But yeah, man, they look good. Matthew Stafford looks good. They're just rolling. Seahawks look pretty decent, but Geno Smith, man, like I said, he's either elite or a bum. And although he threw 3 touchdowns, he also threw 3 interceptions. But I just want to talk about JSN, man. He's just looking phenomenal. He's really come out in his second year here. Looks like a completely different receiver. Had 7 catches for 180 yards and a pair of touchdowns. I mean, he just looks nasty. So yeah, Seahawks just they're not consistent. They gotta have some consistency, and a lot of that comes down to the quarterback play. But the Rams look better. I think the Rams might be looking to make a little bit of a run, but we'll see. But yeah, need more consistency there from the Seahawks, but Rams just got to keep doing what they did this game and keep on rolling.
I got to be honest. I think the Rams are way better than 4-4 from what I've seen this year. I think they've had a couple games that were really close. One that comes to mind is the Lions game that went to OT. That a few games that they were really close that just didn't go their way, and they had injuries. Puka was out, Kupp was out, but now they're coming back. And Puka thrown out of this game, but Kupp had over 100 yards. Demarcus Robinson with the game winner. I think Robinson's one of the most underrated number 3s in the NFL. I think he's really good. Big play in that game to win the game. And I think with Geno, he has 10 interceptions in the year. To be honest, Geno this season is starting to remind me a bit of Bucs Jameis Winston, to where he's putting up tons of yards. He can, look really explosive at points, and then he just throws the stupidest interceptions, leading the league in picks and yards, I believe. I could be wrong in the picks, but I know he's leading yards. But, just 2 boomer bust. JSN is a beast. I've always, from what I've seen this year, I think he's been really underrated, but he's been a bit held back publicity-wise because of Geno making so many mistakes. But then games like this show what he can do when he's actually able to get the ball. Last year, he didn't even average 10 yards per catch, and coming into this game, he averaged 9 yards per catch. And then he just explodes like this, so really good. But I think, we saw in overtime, we saw Matt Stafford turn back the clock. I think this is a guy that the past, I'd say 2 to 3 seasons maybe since they won the Super Bowl has, kind of, been under the radar because he hasn't been lighting it up by any means. But then he does something like this in overtime to where you think he's still got it. Through beautiful pass. I mean, big win as well, divisional and on the road. I mean, those Seahawks aren't amazing anymore, but that's still a very tough place to play and get a divisional win like that. Really happy with what I saw from the Rams. Seahawks, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think, Geno's too many mistakes. Running game as well, 3.2 yards per carry in this game. Not what you want to see from a Seahawks team that always prides themselves on trying to run the ball. But big win for the Rams. Horrible loss for the Seahawks, especially after Geno, he had a horrible game, but he did get them to overtime with an insane drive at the end of regulation, and they just couldn't pull it out, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm kind of siding with what David said as far as Geno being more of a banger bum. I mean, he's, like you said, leading the league in passing yards, and he's got to be top 3 in picks for sure. And I think you're right. I think he is leading in interceptions as well. They say defense wins championships. You're never going to throw 3 interceptions and win games consistently. They need more consistency because other than the inconsistency at the quarterback play, it seems like Seattle's got a pretty decent team. They're in all the games this year. They've been right there at the chance to be better than what they are. They got to get more consistency at the quarterback. Maybe they'll do that through the draft this year. We'll see. The Rams look great. 4-4 does not tell the tale of this team. They got their receivers back and look like a contender again. This is more so of a team that I would put in the wild card hunt over somebody like what we stated earlier. They could make a run for the division, honestly, if they were to really just put it all together. But as far as getting their receivers back, as long as Puka can stop knocking people out, they're going to be hard to beat all year. Great win by Stafford. That last drive, like you said, Noah, was just a thing of beauty.
All right, guys, moving on to the 5th and final game. Lions getting an impressive victory at Lambeau. Packers coming in this game at 6-2. Lions 6-1. And the Lions win this game by 10. Had a pick 6 as well in this game. David, we'll start with you on this one. What were your thoughts on this win for the Lions here?
Man, they can't lose right now, and they actually traded for an edge, a pass rusher there, so that's going to help them here in the future after they lost Hutchinson to that bad leg injury he had that landed him on IR. But man, they're playing smart football. I absolutely love the way that they're playing football. Man, Goff, he plays different in this system. He completed 82% of his passes again this week, guys. He's looking unreal. They use their running backs perfectly to set up the pass. He doesn't have to sling the ball, which is, obviously good for him. So he doesn't have a lot of room for error and mistakes. So the way that they have that lightning and thunder there with their running backs, they use them perfectly. And like I said, they make it to where he just has to be an efficient passer. He doesn't have to do anything crazy. And he has a talented arm, as we know, but he doesn't have to do anything to, try and make, tight passes fit and everything like that. They set it up perfectly. Jordan Love, he struggled. He didn't have any passing touchdowns. He had an interception. His most productive receiver this game was Jalen Reed. He did pretty solid, 5 catches for 113 yards, but they're just they're kind of like the Seahawks to me, a little bit better version maybe. I just feel like they're just inconsistent, they're too up and down. But the Lions, man, they're my NFC favorites for sure. I feel like there's a pretty wide gap there up to the next best team. But yeah, they just look good. They look really hard to beat right now. So
yeah, I agree with that, David. As far as the Lions go, yeah, they do. They look unbeatable. This is the team I had as my NFC favorite from the beginning. They looked great last year, and he's built on what they did last year. As far as the Packers go, though, I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think the Packers are a very good team. I think the Lions just have a shutdown defense. I think Jordan Love is a great quarterback, faced a good defense. As far as future, though, I think the Packers will be right there in the wild card line. Detroit has their division by a landslide, and somebody better step up because I don't know who can beat the Lions right now. Baltimore in the Super Bowl. I know no one wants me to say Atlanta, but right now I don't know. They look.
I think they're probably one of the few teams who could give them a run for their money. And not to interrupt you, just to go back to what you said, I don't think the Packers are a bad team. I just think they're an inconsistent good team, if that makes sense. I feel like they make little mistakes that kind of keep them from being a really good team.
I got you. Okay. That's all I had, though. Just somebody's going to have to start looking good to compete with the Lions. But I like the Lions. I like Dan Campbell. I like what they're doing over there. Excited to see what they do. That's who I'm rooting for the rest of the year. I'm going Lions because my team clearly isn't doing anything. So I'll go the closest color scheme.
There you go.
I'm actually kind of in the middle of your guys' takes on this game. I think with the Packers, I think they are a good team, but their most important player I don't think has been very good this year. We just talked about how much Geno's been turning the ball over. Jordan Love also has 10 interceptions, which I did check is tied for the most in the NFL. He also had that injury, so he's missed a game to add into that as well. He had a couple, I think 2 games where he had 3 interceptions. He had 1 in this game as well. On the other side, obviously, I think the Lions are amazing. This game was classic bend but don't break defense to me in this one. They gave up over 400 yards, but this game was 24-6 until less than 4 minutes to go in the game when the Packers finally scored with Emmanuel Wilson and got a 2-point conversion. But past that, they had the pick six, which I mentioned earlier. The Packers missed a field goal as well. They were just really sloppy. And then with Detroit, I think it was just business as usual for them. Jared Goff has been so accurate this season. It's nuts. Montgomery and Gibbs, get in line. They had insane games in this one, as usual. Gibbs averaging almost 6 yards per carry and a touchdown. Montgomery with 4.3 yards per carry on the ground, added 3 catches as well. A game they were missing Jamison Williams. Amon-Ra, he's still there. Kind of feels like somehow he's a little under the radar. 7 catches and a touchdown. And for Packers offense, I don't know. I think Love is a good quarterback, but he's not been very good this season. They have the running game. They averaged 6 yards per carry in this game. Didn't seem to make a difference. Outside of Jaden Reed, I think their wide receiver room is very inconsistent. Reed is 6th in the NFL in receiving yards this season. That'll definitely get it done. But past that, not much. And I think superior defense for the Lions by far. I think the Packers are a good team, but the Lions are by far the best team in the division. They already beat the Vikings as well. Their only loss was to the was it the Bucks or someone?
Yes, that's correct.
So, and that was a game that they could have won. It went down to the last drive, if I remember right.
Was that the first game of the season?
No, it was the second.
Second, okay.
Second game.
The first one was the Rams one that went to
The
OT.
Rams. Yep.
That's right. You're right.
But yeah, I definitely agree. I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. Maybe even the NFL. I know that the Chiefs are still undefeated again.
Got the
I don't even
Ravens.
think the Chiefs are second. I would put the Ravens.
Really,
and
the Ravens?
Detroit
I would
above the
agree.
Chiefs.
I would agree with that.
What about between the Ravens and Lions?
That's tough. I mean,
that-
obviously, conference, they're the best in their each conference.
I think that's the Super Bowl this year.
I do too.
Mhm.
And I think it could go either way. I think it goes off of what set of running backs has a better day. I think it's off the running backs, not so much off of the quarterbacks. I think it's more running and which defense can stop that monster.
So running back, so Gibbs and Montgomery and Lamar and King.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's exactly what I was going with. Yep.
Fair enough. Fair point.
Yep.
Fair point.
There you go. Although I did
I
see not to get too sidetracked, I did see a cool stat that was like Lamar is like only one of 6 quarterbacks ever to have how many 5 passing touchdown games he has, and he did it in like 86 games, whereas all the other ones are like 150 to 200 or something.
That just goes to show you. Well, it's not that his arm is super talented, but he's so good on the run, and it literally brings all your defenders into stacking the 8-man box. So he's got wide receivers that aren't getting doubled. So
if he just made smarter decisions on some of those on the run throws, people would have a completely different view on Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got Garth here saying, yo, what's good tonight? Gentlemen, bolt up. Still number 1 defense in the league. Offense turning up each week with Herbert being healthy again. Yeah, whatever.
They do look – they are starting to look pretty good. I'll give it to them. They're starting to look pretty good.
They're definitely starting to turn on there for sure. Well, they whooped our ass a couple weeks ago. So, All right, guys, moving on to segment 2 here. SportLife Trivia. Noah, go ahead and start us off with yours here. What you got?
I've gone with one that was similar to the last one I did. Top 10 NFL stats leaders, except instead of passing this time, I have gone with rushing yards. So
Okay.
I'll put up the graphic. And like last time, let me remove the banner real quick. Like last time, you got all these stats, except I've cut off the names. So you have to guess which each player is. Some of them are obvious. There's a few, I think, that might surprise you guys, though.
I think
The
number
top one's
1.
the king.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we
Saquon
got
Saquon is 2.
Yep. Correct.
Bijan?
He is on the list, but which one is he?
Is he third from the bottom there?
He's not third from the bottom, but he is in the bottom 3.
4.7, 4.4. He's second from the bottom.
Yep, he's the one with 632, 4.7, 4 touchdowns. That's Bijan.
We got Mixon.
Is not. He is number
No.
12.
Oh,
He's been injured. He's had some injuries.
Okay.
Brees Hall, maybe. I don't know if his last couple games squeaked him on there.
No, Brees Hall is number 19.
Yeah, I was about to say he had a really rough start.
Mm-hmm.
Are you,
Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. What's the running back for the Niners that filled in for CMC?
Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
He is on the list.
Is he
his last one.
is he 2 above Bijan?
Nope, he's higher.
Really?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to be right there in the middle. 133 attempts, 665 yards.
Actually, he's the one above it.
Oh, nice.
685 and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he's number 4, man. That surprised me when I saw. I knew he was doing good, but that good was crazy.
Okay, so let's see.
So you got 4 of the 10.
Oh, Barkley. Saquon Barkley's second.
We
did?
second already.
Oh,
Yep, he's
okay.
second.
I'm trying to figure out who the third to last one is.
Oh, third. Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs.
You got it.
Yep,
Uh-huh.
that's him. So you still got
the Vikings running back's on there. He's
Nope.
got to be on.
nope.
Really?
Aaron Jones. He's number 15.
Wow,
Oh,
that's surprising.
AK. Alvin Kamara's on here.
He is. Which
He's,
one?
I actually know. I know he's not last, but I know his yards per carry and his touchdown. So he is fourth from the bottom, I believe.
660 and 6 touchdowns.
Yes.
Yep, that's him.
And he's one of 3 players that's over 1,000 yards, I believe, or 1,500 yards, something like that.
Mhm.
One of 3 players.
So you guys still got 5, 6, 8, and 9. 8, 9, and 10. So you got 5 left.
5. Number 5, is he did we just play him?
Yes, you did.
Hubbard, yes.
Yep.
Is a Detroit running back on there?
Yes, they are.
I'm going to go with Gibbs.
As which one?
They're both on there? Holy.
No, like which yardage number is he?
Oh, I was about to say. Let's go with the second to last.
We already did that one.
Is he right above AK? No, he's right below AK.
Yep, he's the one with 656.
656, yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. There's 2? Yeah, 2 left you guys haven't said.
Which ones?
6. So the one with 664 and the one with 622.
Oh, I'm going to have a little fun with this. I'm pretty sure I know who the bottom one is, and I'm pretty sure Tyler probably won't like it.
Yep, I agree with your assessment on that one. Who is it?
Any guesses, Tyler? You
622.
You let him go in the off season.
Yeah, it's Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
All right, is that all of them?
One more. There's one you guys haven't said. Number 6, the one with 664.
Yeah.
What conference? NFC?
Yes.
DeAndre Swift.
No.
4 touchdowns, 4.5 yards.
I give you guys.
It's not the Rams running back, is it?
No, but it is. I'll give you a hint. It is the same division.
Oh, James Conner.
James Conner.
Yep.
Yeah.
18 touchdowns. What was it, the year before last? And then he had the down year, and now he's back to, balling out pretty much.
He had some injuries last year.
So, to recap, 1 to 10 is Henry, Barkley, Jacobs, Mason, Hubbard, Connor, AK, Gibbs, Bijan, and Tony Pollard. J.K. Dobbins, I think Garth mentioned him, is number 11. He's at 620.
Yeah.
So,
I was about to say he's up there too. Those first 2 weeks he had were crazy.
Man, I like doing those types. I think those are fun guessing games.
Those are cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Rick for sure. All right. What about you, Tyler? Your SportLife Trivia. What you got next for us?
All right. So what I had is, who is the first tight end inducted into the Hall of Fame and what year?
Ooh.
And if you want to, for fun, throw what 3 teams he played for, go for it.
3 teams.
There's your little hint. He played for 3 teams.
Oh, man. What year was he inducted?
That's part of the question.
That's part of the question.
Okay.
I'm trying to – this is tough. I'm trying to think of old tight ends, and the only ones I can think of I don't think played for 3 teams. It's not Kellen Winslow.
I didn't know this guy played for 3 games. I didn't know this guy played for 3 teams.
Is that right?
No, it was not Kellen Winslow.
Oh, okay.
Ozzie Newsome.
Closer in age, but no.
John Mackey.
Nope. You're close. You're getting there.
I'm in the right era. I'm trying to.
And when you say when I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, no shit.
Who'd you say?
I said Mackey, Newsome, and Winslow.
It wasn't Mackey?
I have one hint that will give it away when I give you the hint.
Don't give it. Don't give it.
Keep guessing. It's not like just keep guessing.
Is he a coach or a former coach?
So yeah, that's the guess I was gonna give you. He is a former coach.
Is he former coach for the Saints?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, he didn't. I think he coached for 1 team.
Man, I'm trying to think of coaches that were tight ends, and I'm not good with the old history. Like, if it's the past 30 years, I would probably
All right,
know.
I'll tell you who he coached for.
Okay.
He coached for the Bears.
Oh, Mike Ditka.
Yep.
Yes.
Damn it, man.
Yeah,
oh.
I told you. As soon as you think of it, you're like, oh, yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Jeez.
I was reading these questions in a magazine, and that came up, and I was like, and I was doing the same thing you were doing. Mackey, Winslow, and then I read the answer. I was like, oh, yeah, no shit.
I didn't know he played for 3 teams. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. I'll go ahead and read mine out to you. This is an NBA one, okay?
Oh, no.
Who has the most NBA dunks in one game and how many?
Vince Carter, 14.
Nope.
Oh,
Close on the amount, but it's not Carter. Noah?
Dominique Wilkins.
Nope.
I had to go for that one.
Any more guesses?
Michael
Tim
Jordan.
Duncan.
Nope.
I think it's going to be a big man. I think it's going to be a post guy who's just
Shaq?
putting it.
It is Shaq.
16.
15.
Was it 15?
13. You're both a little high
man.
there. Yeah.
Ah,
So
I
he
knew it was
did
going to be a
that.
big man.
He did that April 6, 93, playing for the Orlando Magic against the 76ers there. So
There you go.
all
Can't
right.
believe I got it.
Heck yeah. All right, Tyler, into our next segment.
Which
Yes,
is not
no biggie.
Rushmore. See, so I'm not really into boxing, but I'm gonna give y'all what I got, all right, from what I
All right.
remember off my brain. So number one, I gotta go float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Sure.
Gotta go Ali.
Mhm.
I'm gonna throw Tyson in there because
Mhm.
just of the raw power.
Yeah.
Are we going back and forth, or are we doing one at a time?
You go ahead and do yours out
I
since we're
already
doing
made
that.
two of them.
Yep, go ahead.
Joe Louis, another just straight power. I had a lot of notes on this, but like 52 of his 66 wins were knockouts. So
Nice.
I thought that was pretty crazy. And
Hell
then
yeah.
off of just straight pure longevity and the amount of fights, I got to go Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
The man almost had 200 fights and won 174 of them. So he had like an 89% win percentage over 200 fights. And I don't know if y'all have ever been in an actual fight. Those damn things are tiring. I don't want to do 200 of those.
Hell no. Awesome. What about you, Noah?
Again, this isn't a sport I know a lot about, but I did do a bit of research on this one, so I think mine are pretty good. Obviously, I went Muhammad Ali, greatest boxer of all time, but not just what he did in the ring, what he did out of the ring as well. I mean, when you think boxing, Muhammad Ali. Second guy, my personal favorite boxer of all time, and in my opinion, the most talented boxer of all time, Mike Tyson. This dude's greatest enemy was himself. If he had just fully zeroed in on boxing, this guy would have been completely unstoppable.
Yeah.
In my opinion, number 3, I also went with Joe Louis. I mean, the records this guy has, he won 25 consecutive title defenses, the longest streak in boxing history. Tyler already mentioned his knockout record, but David, I'm a big history guy, and I saw something that was really cool for me. Two things. Number one, 1938 boxing match against German Max Schmeling, who was accompanied to New York City with a literal Nazi brigade. And obviously Joe Louis is an African-American. To have a match like that long ago, not only as African-American, but against an opponent like that, that's big, man. And also another fun stat, I did not know this. He broke the PGA color barrier because he was the first black man to play in a PGA event in 1952. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous to read. Yep. And also I don't know if it still is, but the Detroit Red Wings hockey arena used to be named after him as well. Which is
wow.
Cool. But my fourth and final one, you could have flipped a coin on this one. I decided to go a bit more modern. I went with Floyd Mayweather. 50-0. And when I was growing up, I know a lot of people hate him, but when I was growing up, I didn't know anything about boxing. This was the only guy I knew because everything you heard was, oh, is this guy going to beat him this time? Is Manny Pacquiao going to beat him? Is De La Hoya going to beat him? Whatnot. And he just kept winning. So I think for modern boxing fans, he's one of the first guys that people think of. So
yeah,
it was tough. I wanted to put one of the Sugar Rays on there. I mean, there's just so many great boxers you choose, but I ended up going with Floyd as my last one.
Right on, guys. Well, we all had Ali. I do want to just kind of note here, like you said, not just what he did in the ring, being one of the most feared to ever, box, but also what he did out of the ring. And also his trash talk was fucking phenomenal. Everybody loved his trash talk. But a little stat here, he has beat more champions and top contenders than any heavyweight champion in history. So just, that just goes to show, he's the best ever. Mike Tyson, my overall favorite, most explosive boxer ever, in my opinion, had a record of 50-6 and 88% of his wins were by knockout. That's just scary. I mean, when he hits you, he put you to sleep. And the amazing thing is for a heavyweight, he's short. His reach was very short, and he still got in and just knocked motherfuckers out. And it was just so fun to see. Like you said, Noah, I've got Floyd Mayweather in here. I can't stand Floyd. I think he's a dumbass.
Oh, I can't stand him.
He can't read, but I'm not gonna get on that. I'm not gonna judge the man for that. But I think he's an idiot. But yeah, 50-0, 27 KOs. Most of those came early in his career. He became the thing that makes him so great to me. Wasn't that, but he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive boxer we've ever seen. Just phenomenal at defense. Can't stand the guy, but he the way that he was able to move out of the way and just outpoint his opponents was just phenomenal.
His endurance was just crazy, man.
Yeah,
like, to be able to dance around and win that many by decision is just crazy.
Mm-hmm. And he embarrassed the UFC the way he knocked out.
Oh, McGregor! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that was just a money fight. That's all that was. But all right, guys, my fourth and last one. I'm gonna go back with a heavyweight in the heavyweight division, George Foreman.
I almost went there.
He was the most feared fighter from 73 to 74. He was undefeated in 40 straight fights, 37 by knockout, and he was on a 24 consecutive knockout run until he faced none other than the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Rumble in the Jungle, if you know what I mean, there in Africa. Just a great fight, and he would hit Ali with everything he said. And he said, "You ain't hurt?" And Ali said, "No, I ain't hurt. Let's go." And that fight was just incredible. So yeah, that's who I got: Ali, Tyson, Floyd, and George Foreman.
Hey, you can't leave out the most important stat of boxing. Mike Tyson is the only one with a bitten off ear. So let's throw that in there.
Vander Holyfield, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Hey, I will say, just to touch on that right quick, a lot of people talk shit because he bit his ear. And yeah, he bit his ear, but Holyfield was throwing low blows and headbutting that whole fight.
He was.
So, yep, that's kind of my talk there. So, yep. All right, Noah, you want to lead us into the next segment here?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Well, first, before I do that, I just want to say thank you for the comment, Garth. Much appreciated, my man. Glad you could tune in. And
yeah, thank you so much, buddy.
Sir.
But yes, next one. Rundown honor college teams. I got to be honest, I don't think any of us are going to have a lot of fun with this one, but at least I can be the one that had a team that won.
We had a bye week, so I'm okay with that.
You're good. But
we won't go the week before, though.
Hey, Garth, I hope you're still here, my man, because I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this one. But UJ winning 34-20 against Florida. In my opinion, the game was very close, not as one-sided as that score might indicate. But I don't. It's going to sound salty. I don't think it was close because of anything Florida did. I think it was close because of the fact Carson Beck, when he's like the past month and a half, when he goes back to pass, I don't know, like if he gets scared, if he has some cataracts or something in his eyes. The amount of times I see this guy throwing a triple and quadruple coverage like the past 5 games.
He thinks he's him. That's what it is.
I don't know what it is, but it needs to stop, dude. Honestly, I was getting to the point where I thought this guy should be benched, which if you told me that before the season, I would have said you're nuts. Yeah. But he's been horrible the past 5 games, man. Honestly, it's been so bad. I mean, our running game was good. We were able to recover and get a win against a Florida team that didn't even have a quarterback most of the game, which is even worse.
I was about to say, if that quarterback didn't come out, y'all, it might have been a different game.
It would have been good. But, I mean, we got the win. That's what matters the most. We're number 3 in the first CFP poll. Which I find. I think that's fair. I'm honestly surprised they ranked us above Miami. I thought they would definitely put Miami above us. So no complaints there. But, man, if we do this against Ole Miss or, especially if we get the SC championship game in the playoffs, Carson Beck's got to get his head out of his ass, man. I think he's a really nice guy, but I'm starting to think we really underappreciated Stetson Bennett when he was here, man. That mobility he had, but also the fight. The heart he had. I mean, how guys rallied around him, how he was so clutch, how he didn't make, major mistakes over and over again like Carson Beck has lately.
Being a 38-year-old college quarterback will do that.
Exactly. Exactly. He had experience. But, yeah, I mean, again, a win is a win. It's unimpressive, but, Gators losing is always fun to see.
Absolutely. Garth here, hoping and praying for Miami to make college football playoffs and get absolutely boat raced by a team like UGA or Oregon.
We'll see.
First off, David, you can't make fun of a man for not being able to read and then butcher that comment like that.
Hey, you go fuck yourself, okay?
Now, real quick, you had a bye week. Fuck you. We're going to get back. Yes, we lost this game and we looked like shit, but you said we weren't going to have fun. Yes, we are. We had a bye week in the podcast last week, too. Fuck you. A&M beat LSU. We're going to talk. We're going to bring that up real quick.
Yes, that's right.
We had a little bye week. He thought he got away. He was at my house. He thought he was slick. He was like, yeah, I think we're just going to skip because of Halloween. No, he didn't want to talk about that. That's what it was. Yeah. Anyway, living in that week because I think they were too because they did not come to play in South Carolina. I was sitting in the living room watching the pregame, and my fiance walked in. I went, "Oh, we're losing this game." And she went, "What are you talking about? Game hadn't started." And I went, their fans are electric. I thought they were going to come on the field. They were ready. They gave LSU a run at the beginning of the year, and that was a good game. South Carolina slept on. Their record doesn't tell the whole story. That quarterback they have is an absolute athlete.
True.
Other than that, man,
44-20.
It was bad. It was bad. You want to talk about the score of the week before, or we're going to leave that one?
I'm going to get to that fucker.
But we have to win out now, and we have to beat Texas at home in 2 days after Thanksgiving to have a real shot at kindling what I thought a season we had. I still think we could have a great season, better than what we have been. We fell to, I believe it was 14, and then we were number 14 in the first college football playoff rankings as well. Got to win out, got to get back up there and at least make the first college football playoffs. All right, David. Let's go ahead and hear it.
Yeah, we had our bye week here. But the week before, played A&M. We came out looking really good, man. I could see it in your face. You were kind of sick to your stomach that first half. I
need you to real quick before you go on. What did I say at halftime? If it happened, would be a game changer.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get to that. Don't you worry, dickhead. We looked phenomenal the first half of that game. Looked like we were gonna run away with it.
You let me know about it. I remember.
Yeah, absolutely. But Tyler said it. At halftime they got to change the quarterback. They got to change the quarterback if they're gonna win. I didn't really know much about him, but he was right, man. They came out. We had no answer for his mobility whatsoever. They ran it down our throats. Luckily, I left at halftime, so I didn't see any of that bullshit. I was able to catch the score at the end. I was like, what the happened? But, yeah, I didn't get to see it, thankfully. I'm glad I didn't see any of it. I'm sure Tyler wished I would have stayed, so we could have kind of held
Don't worry. Nobody worry. I let him know his whole drive home he got taken.
He was updating me the whole time. Touchdown. Like, fuck you.
If y'all had been at my house during the shit talk I got when it was 17-7 going into halftime, you would understand.
Hey,
and I had not just David. I had 6 of them over here doing this.
Yeah.
Guess what? The other 5 stayed. They got a nice hopeful.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, they had no answer in the second half. Was, just looked like a completely different team, and A&M made really good adjustments. So we have Alabama this week. It's going to be a tough game. I think we're going to pull it out. I'll say we'll win 28-21, something like that. But Alabama's just not the same with Saban not there, but they still get the talent. They have a talented roster. Their coaching, I think, is the difference there. But yeah, hopefully we kind of picked up on that bye week, and we could kind of come into this game strong. So,
and I will say, whoever loses this game is probably college football playoffs.
Yes, I think we probably need to win out as well. So, but all right, next segment here, Noah. If you want to lead us into the first game prediction there.
Yeah, so we're about to get into our predictions. Real quick before we do, let's go ahead and put up our records. Get a nice reminder. So, I actually went 5-0. And last week we did. I had so you guys both picked the Bengals to beat the Eagles. I picked the Eagles, and then we almost none of us were undefeated, but Jaden Daniels with that Hail Mary against the Bears saved my perfect streak on that one. David, I think you went 3-2. You almost had a really good week, but you made that horrible decision picking the Cowboys to beat the Niners. That was what hurt you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still very close. One game between each of us. And we're going to get into our Week 10 predictions. I did not put the lines. I'm too damn lazy to do that. But first game, guys, we actually have a decent Thursday night football matchup, I think.
We do.
Bengals versus Ravens. Two high-flying offenses, one through the air, one through the ground. Tyler, let's start with your thoughts on this game.
I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. I think it goes one of two ways. I think it's a shootout, and it's a 40-plus score game all around, or
like the first
Ravens
one was
defense, or it's a blowout, and the Bengals shut them down. I'm going to lean towards the same thing that happened in the first game. I think Derrick Henry runs for a good bit. I think the Ravens' other running back runs for a good bit. I'm talking about Lamar Jackson. I think he throws pretty well. Zay Flowers, I don't know, man. He's been kind of – I have him in fantasy, and he is really screwing me. I cannot pick for the life of me if he's going to have a good game or not.
When you have Lamar and Henry running, that's tough to deal with.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. For anybody who has a receiver for them, might as well just go ahead and put them on the bench. The Bengals, I think, are a lot better than what their record shows. Joe has been connecting with Chase pretty well throughout the season. I think they connect for one or two touchdowns tonight. But I think that the Bengals have no answer in the end for the amount of runs that they're going to see coming at them. I'm going to go Ravens in a high-scoring game. I'm going to go something like 38-34, somewhere in there.
Right on. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be a shootout as well. Just like the first game, I don't think the Ravens are going to lose. I feel like the Bengals don't have a run game to be able to, to mix the game up. I think Burrow's going to be throwing lights out. He looked phenomenal, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to go ahead and go Ravens 34, Bengals 31.
Yep, 3 for 3 on this one, guys. I also have the Ravens. I just think they're too talented, and I know the Bengals have been better lately, but I'm looking at their recent games. The teams they have beaten are the Raiders, the Browns, and the Giants in the last 5 games.
Doo-doo teams.
Their losses.
But real quick, before you go on, the only thing that kind of throws me off about it, as I was looking at their last 5 games each, is that the Ravens lost to Cleveland. And I'm like, okay. And I know that's probably just a fluke, but the Bengals
division game.
So it's a divisional game. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off, Noah.
I don't think the Bengals have enough on defense. I mean, we saw it the last time they played. It was a shootout, went to overtime. They actually did a good job for the most part against Henry, but then he breaks off one run in OT, and that makes a difference. I don't think they're going to contain him like they did most of that game. I think Henry is going to have a really big game in this one. Lamar has been very efficient lately. He followed up a perfect passer rating like one game, and then 2 weeks later had a 158.1 again. He's white hot right now. So is Burrow. I think it's going to be a pure shootout again between, two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But I'm sorry, I like Chase Brown. I got him on my fantasy team, but I got to give a big edge to the Ravens running game in this one to make the slight difference. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win at 38-31.
Nice. All right, guys, on to our next game here. Falcons versus Saints. The depleted Saints and the division winners right now in the Falcons. Noah, go ahead and start us off with that one.
And again, I think this is, I said this with the Bucs game a few weeks ago. I think this is a game the Falcons should win handedly. The Saints are not good. Their defense has really struggled. They just fired their head coach. They're banged up to all hell. But again, this is one of those rivalries, man, that records seem to go out the window. I mean, I've seen horrible Falcons teams beat really good Drew Brees Saints teams, and then I've seen a 5-0 Falcons team lose to a Saints team that did absolutely nothing that year. I mean,
well, Taysom Hill.
Yep. So I think the Falcons should and will win, but I think it's going to be one of those games again where it's way closer than people think, and it gets decided in the fourth quarter. And I just think Kirk Cousins is going to make the difference. He's got the weapons that the Saints don't. I am concerned with some of what I've seen from our defense lately, but I mean, the Saints offense looks completely dysfunctional lately. So hopefully they can take advantage of that. I am disappointed we did not trade for pass rusher at the trade deadline. I thought we should have, and we did not. So, I mean, we'll see if that plays a factor the second half of the season. I think it will, unfortunately. But just for this game, it is in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be tough as well. But I think the Falcons should win it. I think it'll be closer than people think, but I'm going to pick the Falcons to win it 27-17.
Okay. What about you, Tyler?
Come on, man. You can't dog the Saints like that. In New Orleans, come on. It's who that. The Saints are not them. I'm completely fucking around. This is not going to be a close game. I know it's a conference, and I know it's divisional. I looked at all the stat lines. They're giving it like a 3-point edge, I think. No, it's not going to be a close game. Atlanta's going to go into the Superdome and show why they're leading the NFC South. I think they're going to win by at least 14. I think it'll be 28-14.
Okay.
I just don't think the Saints have any answers, to be honest with you. Like, the injuries that y'all have depleted and then coming in with a new coach, I don't think there's enough time there to get that against a team like Atlanta and the talent they have on the perimeter.
I can't argue with either one of your points. I do think the Saints are going to kind of come in a little more energized. Rizzy kind of changed some things up. He changed where they sit in the locker room. They were like kind of spread out. Now he has them by division, sitting by each other, or position, sitting by each other. They changed how they practice, the order, things like that. I think they're going to be kind of rejuvenated, but like you said, they don't have the receiver core. They have no receivers right now. So yeah, I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I'll call Falcons 34, Saints 27 in this one.
All right,
Tyler, if you want to lead us in for the Jets and Cardinals game.
Jets Cardinals. Okay, so you want me to? Am I picking one of y'all? Is that what you're saying? All right.
Yes.
This is my note. Okay. Jets and Cardinals. Let's go, Noah. Lead us off. What do you think is going to happen in this bloodbath?
How
much you love Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's tough, right? Because I know they got to win against a good Texans team, but and his stats look good, but I just didn't think he looked that impressive. Again, I think the 2 of his 3 touchdowns were just Garrett Wilson making once in a lifetime catches, pretty much.
Yes.
And I think for the Cardinals, I think I've been really impressed with the Cardinals. Actually, I think 5-4 record with a team that a lot of people I don't think were expecting to be any good this year. I think Kyler Murray's been really efficient this season, 14 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's got the weapons. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Trey McBride, who I think is an elite-level tight end. It just didn't quite get the attention last year because of how horrible the team that was. But he's on pace for close to over 900 yards this season as a tight end, which is pretty good. I think if James Conner is healthy, which I know he's questionable for this game, they're going to run the ball. It's going to be a tight game, I think, just because the Jets defense is so good. But I'm giving the edge to the Cardinals defense or the offense, just a little bit, because I still think Adams is trying to. I know he had a good game in the last one, but it took him a little to get going, get settled in. I'm still not 100% on what I've seen from Rodgers. I mean, the team is 3-6 for a reason. They fired their head coach and they still lost some games. So I'm picking the Cardinals, man. I think it's going to be kind of a sloppier game, but they're at home. They're a good team this year. I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win it 24-14.
Right on. I'm going to go opposite from you here, man. I think the Jets are finally putting it together. I feel like they're only going to get better. I feel like the Cards have kind of just been up and down. I'm going to pull the Jets here, 27 to Cardinals 21.
Okay. Ultimately, I bounced back and forth on this game for a long time because I agree with you, Noah. I think this is going to be a very sloppy slugfest. But ultimately, I agree with you, David. I think that the Jets are only getting better from here. We're not going to see the same team that we've been seeing from them. I think they're going to finally get Breece Hall involved in the run and then have that 1-2 on the receiver core. And I think they're going to win this game something like 21-10. I don't think it'll be super high scoring. I do think the Jets are still trying to figure out their identity, but I'm going to go 21-10 Jets.
Okay.
All right, there we go. All right, guys, next to last game, Eagles versus Cowboys. And Tyler, obviously, I got to start with you on this one. Will we see some more Cooper Rush heroics against the Eagles, or will be more of the same misery for the Cowboys in this one?
Well, the one thing I'll tell you that you might see it again. I was going to say you wouldn't see Dak saying we fucking suck on the sideline, but you might. I don't know. We are going to see Cooper Rush. How long? I don't know, because this officially will bring Trey Lance in as our backup quarterback for the first time, because he has been our third inactive quarterback that the NFL allows for whatever reason. I guess he's just not as good as the preview I thought I saw. He's got to be third for a reason. But we'll see Cooper Rush, and I don't think he's going to have the heroics he did in, I think it was 2017. 2018, we don't have the same team. We don't have the same running game. We don't have the same offensive line, and we sure as hell don't have the same defense. We might get Micah back this week, so that might be cool to see. But honestly, at this point, I say just rest him. If he's not 100%, just leave him on the damn bench because, like I said, let's just compete for that number one overall pick with the rest of the half the league. So I'm going Eagles. Man, it's painful. That's hard to say. I'm going to go Eagles 35-17.
Nice. I'm gonna agree with you. You pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Cowboys suck. Eagles suck a little bit less, so I'm gonna go Eagles 27, Cowboys 13.
Real quick, before you say they suck less, since they got AJ Brown back, they've kind of turned on. It's a little bit of a race between them and Washington. They might have a nice little.
I'm not completely sold on them. I think they're just winning just enough, but I don't think they're dominant like like that. I feel like Washington is definitely a playoff team. I feel like the record. Hey, if they win enough games, they'll get there. I just don't think the Eagles are a great team. I think they're a good team getting by. So
it's tough for me because they have won 4 in a row, but again, when you look at their opponents. Browns, Giants, Bengals, and Jags. 3 of those teams I think are absolute junk, and the Bengals I think have talent but have underachieved. So It's tough to say. But then they're 6-2, and they're playing the Cowboys, who just absolutely stink. Again, I know it's a rivalry game, but you got a backup quarterback in there. I don't think he's going to strike lightning twice. Saquon, by the way, has just been absolutely ridiculous. That freaking backwards hurdle.
That was nasty.
Oh, man.
One of the most insane things I've ever seen, man. They got good wide receivers. Again, I think their main question mark is the quarterback. What is the quarterback going to do? But, look, the Cowboys did absolutely nothing to stop Bijan Robinson in the running game. I don't think that's going to happen with Barkley, who's been the second best running back in the NFL by far this season and would be the best in most seasons, if not for Derrick Henry just being absolutely out of this world.
If you tackle him forwards, he just jumps you backwards. Like that's that. Dude, did y'all see the reaction of his teammates?
Yeah, they all loved it. That was awesome.
That was crazy.
But yeah, I really don't think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be one of those games where it's like 31-10 in the fourth quarter, and then Cooper Rush has one drive against cover 4 prevent defense where they score a touchdown and it was 31-17 or something like that. I think the Eagles win this game convincingly. They're sort of hitting their stride, and I know they haven't really played anybody, but the Cowboys aren't good either. 31-17 Eagles.
Right on.
Real quick before we move on, Sunday I have like a birthday party I'm going to for like 2-year-olds. I'm going to see more excitement watching them run around than the game going on TV. So that sums that up.
There you
Absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish this off here, leading into the last game here. Lions versus Texans. What you got, Tyler?
Lions versus Texans. So as I stated earlier, this is 2 of the teams that I had in the Final Four teams to start the year. Detroit has not disappointed. The Texans, because of the injury bug, have, in a way, kind of disappointed. Because of the injury bug, I am going to lean towards just the dominance of Detroit right now. I'm going to take Detroit winning this game something like 20. No, I'll go higher. I'll go 35-21. And real quick before I let one of y'all take this over, did y'all see? I saw somebody say the craziest thing that would ever happen in Detroit is if you just out of the walkout, you just let Eminem walk out and just start. And like you couldn't play the game. I was like, yeah, probably not.
They got to do that in the Super Bowl. Have to.
They have to.
Sure.
Noah, how about you, man?
again, I think two really good teams. I think Texans are really good, but I think the Lions are top 2 team in the NFL right now, man. I think they're complete. The Texans, they're banged up at wide receiver. CJ Stroud has not been at the races lately. And the other side, Jared Goff has been pinpoint lately. They got that sick one, too, with Gibbs and Montgomery. They got St. Brown. Jameson is back from suspension this week as well, but I don't know if he's going to play. I have him in fantasy. It said he might be out for this game as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. But I don't think it really matters. I think the Lions defense is looked really good. And even when they give up yards, they like we saw against the Packers, they can hold them to field goals or even worse, turnovers on downs and stuff and pick sixes. I think it'll be another slower game for CJ Stroud. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but yeah, man, give me the Lions something like 28-19. There you go.
Okay. I like it. I'm going to agree with both of you. I've got the Lions. I mean, they're dominating. We've talked about them week after week. They're just best team in the NFC for sure. Texans are just kind of up and down. Stroud, hasn't had much help. So I'll go Lions 37, Texans 27. And a couple of things before you finish it off here, Noah. I want to tell my daughter a happy birthday. She turned 6 years old today, and tomorrow is our good friend Tyler here's birthday. So a happy early birthday shout out to my boy Tyler.
Appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday to Harper and happy early birthday Tyler. There you go.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
So I guess we don't want to do the bonus segment.
Yeah, I've got to get to the studio. So
all right, gotcha. Well, thanks everyone for watching. That is going to do it for this episode of SportLife Uncensored. Got to cut it right here. A bit of a longer show for sure. But thanks everyone for watching. I think this one was a little bit slower just because we had to do it earlier. But regardless, solid show once again. Do you guys have anything you want to say before I sign us off for tonight?
it's good to be back, man. I hate that we missed last week, but I enjoyed it. It's good to be back, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, from myself, Noah Dog Dauber, David Dunphy, and Tyler Rowe, this has been the SportLife Uncensored show on the Sports Box Network. Stay safe, enjoy your football, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Have a great week.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sweet Tea on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at SportsBox Show, Twitter at SportsBox Show, Instagram at The SportsBox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.